The galaxy had always believed in the Council, an assembly of the most advanced civilizations. Their message was simple. We protect the galaxy from chaos. From the swirling star systems of Andara to the ice rings of Trivon, species of all shapes and sizes followed the Council's guidance. They had treaties, alliances, and a promise of peace. But peace had a price. The Council decided who could explore, who could trade, and even who could settle new worlds. On the small blue planet called Earth, life went on mostly unaware. Humanity had faced its own struggles, climate shifts, conflicts, and technology races, but Earth had never been under the thumb of any galactic overlord. For centuries, humans had looked at the stars with curiosity, never knowing that those stars were already mapped, controlled, and policed by beings far older than the human race. Everything changed on the day the Council's signal reached Earth. It wasn't a warning nor a greeting. It was a declaration. All intelligent life must submit to Council regulation immediately. The message broadcasted across every communication channel, leaving no corner of Earth untouched. Governments argued, scientists analyzed, and people panicked. But one voice rose above the rest. Dr. Amina Tariq, a leading physicist specializing in interstellar communication, stared at the projection in her lab. Her team had been monitoring deep space signals for years, trying to detect evidence of other civilizations. Now the proof had come, not in quiet signals but in a commanding order aimed at her world. This isn't just a message, she said, turning to her colleagues. It's a test. They think Earth isn't ready for the galaxy, but we are. Her words sparked a fire in the hearts of thousands who had dedicated their lives to science and exploration. Soon a global coalition formed, bringing together engineers, scientists, and strategists under a single mission, to ensure Earth would not bow to the Council's will. Meanwhile, the Council convened in their massive orbital citadel. A glowing assembly hall floated above the planet Ultrax Prime, filled with representatives of species so different that humans would struggle to even imagine their forms. Their leader, a being called Valor, observed Earth through advanced holographic lenses. Humans are primitive, Valor said, his voice resonating with authority. Yet there is potential. Should we intervene directly or allow them to prove themselves? A murmur ran through the Council chamber. Some argued for containment, others for observation. One delegate, a creature with crystalline limbs named Skor, whispered, "Perhaps they are more dangerous than we realize. Primitive, yes, but unpredictable." Back on Earth, humanity was far from helpless. They had technology the Council had not anticipated. Machines capable of learning, systems that could adapt faster than any single alien intelligence, and, most importantly, creativity. While the Council relied on tradition and rigid protocols, humans thought differently. They improvised, they collaborated, and they refused to accept limits. The first test came sooner than expected. A Council reconnaissance fleet entered the solar system, silently observing Earth's communications, power grids, and orbital satellites. Most nations saw these ships as threats. Military councils debated weapons. Scientists like Amina Tariq proposed a different approach. "We don't have to fight them with force," she said. "We fight them with innovation. They underestimate our ability to think differently." Under her guidance, Earth launched the Aurora Protocol, a coordinated system of satellites, communication relays, and AI-driven defense drones. It was not designed to destroy the Council's fleet. It was designed to communicate in a way the Council had never encountered. When the Council fleet attempted to issue commands to Earth satellites, the humans responded not with submission but with creativity. Satellites rearranged themselves into patterns that transmitted complex data streams. The Council's system struggled to interpret. AI drones projected holographic messages showing human ingenuity, unity, and determination. In Ultrax Prime, the Council grew uneasy. Valor's eyes narrowed. They are adapting, faster than expected. But adaptation was only the beginning. Earth scientists soon discovered something remarkable. The Council's systems relied heavily on assumption and precedent. Humans, unbound by the same rules, began to exploit gaps in those systems. Within days, Earth had mapped portions of the Council's network, discovering hidden stations, observation points, and communication hubs. "What they see as chaos," Amina told the world during a global broadcast, "we see as opportunity. The galaxy is vast, but our minds are not small. If they think they can command us, they have miscalculated. Across Earth, a sense of pride and purpose grew. Citizens volunteered for missions. Engineers worked around the clock, and students trained to join the first human fleet. For the first time, humanity truly believed it could not only survive in the galaxy, but thrive. Then, a new development arrived. A transmission from the Council itself. This time addressed to Amina and the leaders of the human coalition. "You demonstrate unusual capability," the message read. "We will observe. Continue and we will decide your place among us." The Council did not threaten, they did not need to. The weight of their power was enough to intimidate most civilizations. But humans were different. They were no longer waiting. They were preparing. On a quiet night in her lab, Amina stared at the stars. She imagined fleets of human ships not just defending Earth but exploring and expanding. She imagined negotiations with alien species, where humans would no longer be supplicants but equals. They called themselves protectors, she whispered. But protection without understanding is control. And Earth will not be controlled. As the first part of the story closed, the galaxy watched unknowingly the rise of a species that refused to bow. From the Council's citadel to the furthest stars, whispers spread. Humans are awakening. And when they took command, the galaxy would never be the same. The Council's citadel on Altrax Prime was quiet, but the silence carried tension. Vaylor, the Council leader, paced before a massive holographic display of the solar system. The humans had done something unprecedented. They had adapted to the Council's surveillance and systems faster than any civilization before them. "They are bold, Score," the crystalline delegate said, its voice resonating like a delicate chime. "Their satellites, their drones. It's not just resistance, it's understanding. They are learning from us." Vaylor's eyes narrowed. "Bold, yes, but their reach is still limited. They are confined to their planet. Their fleets are nothing compared to ours." Yet even as he spoke, the Council could feel a subtle shift. The humans were no longer merely reacting, they were thinking ahead. Observers stationed throughout the outer systems reported unusual patterns. Transmission burst from Earth satellites that the Council could not fully decode, AI-driven signals that seemed almost playful in their complexity. On Earth, the coalition moved quickly. Under Dr. Amina Tariq's guidance, engineers, strategists, and explorers worked together to create the first human interstellar fleet. It wasn't just a collection of ships, it was a statement. Each vessel combined Earth's finest technology with ingenuity that no alien civilization could predict. One of the first ships, Horizon, was ready for launch. Sleek, adaptive, and equipped with advanced communication systems, it could adjust its trajectory, energy output, and even its hull composition in real time. Its mission: a reconnaissance journey beyond the solar system to map nearby star systems and establish communication with alien species without alerting the Council. Captain Elias Mercer, a veteran astronaut with years of experience in Earth's deep space missions, stood on the bridge of Horizon, staring at the stars through reinforced glass. "We're not just explorers," he said to his crew. "We are humanity's voice in the galaxy. If the Council thinks they can command us, they've underestimated what it means to be human." Meanwhile, the Council debated their next step. Some delegates wanted immediate intervention, a show of force to remind Earth of their place. Others argued for patience to observe and learn. But Vaylor's decision was clear. "They must be tested," he said. "Let them take the first step. Then we will respond, decisively." And so the humans took their first step. Horizon left the solar system under the cover of darkness, traveling faster than any human ship had before. As it passed the orbit of Mars and the asteroid belt, the crew marveled at the beauty of the galaxy, unaware of the eyes following them from unseen observation posts. Their journey took them to Epsilon Eridani, a star system on the outer edge of the Council's attention. It was a system rich with planets, some habitable, some barren, but all mapped and monitored by the Council. Horizon sensors detected something unusual: a derelict station orbiting a gas giant, long abandoned yet broadcasting faint signals. "This isn't on any Council chart," Captain Mercer said. "It's like they forgot it exists." Dr. Tariq, monitoring the mission from Earth via advanced quantum communication channels, leaned closer to the display. "Humans never stop noticing what others overlook," she whispered. "This station could be our advantage. The crew docked carefully, exploring the station. Inside, they discovered old technology. Council designs, yes, but modified in ways that suggested experimentation. Data cores contained logs of scientific studies, resource extraction, and messages that hinted at Council secrecy. Everything we learn is leverage, Dr. Tariq said. We can understand their strategies, anticipate their moves, and even use their own systems against them. All without firing a single weapon. Back on Ultrax Prime, the Council detected Horizon's presence. A murmur of surprise and curiosity spread among the delegates. Humans were daring, yes, but their approach was clever. So clever that some could not ignore the possibility that Earth might teach the galaxy a lesson in unpredictability. Vaylor addressed the assembly. They are not like others, he said. Their ingenuity is remarkable. They do not follow patterns. We must consider the unexpected. On Horizon, the crew transmitted findings back to Earth. The excitement was palpable. Scientists, engineers, and citizens watched as new insights poured in. Technology that could help advance Earth's fleet. Strategies that could protect their systems. And evidence that even the Council had vulnerabilities. Yet the humans also faced challenges. The derelict station was unstable. Its systems were old and fragile, and one wrong move could trigger catastrophic failures. But Captain Mercer and his crew adapted. Using their ingenuity, they stabilized the systems, learned from the Council designs, and even improved on them. We take what we need and we leave nothing behind, Mercer said. We are explorers, not conquerors, but we are never helpless. As the days passed, Horizon continued mapping nearby systems, always alert for Council detection. And detection was coming sooner than they imagined. Hidden sensors in the outer system picked up the human presence and transmitted data back to the Council. Vaylor watched the feed, his expression unreadable. They are learning faster than we anticipated, he said. Their fleet, their minds. Earth may not be just another civilization, it may be exceptional. The Council debated the meaning of this word exceptional in hushed tones. Some saw it as a threat, others as an opportunity. But the humans had done something no other species had dared. They had taken the first move and challenged the Council's assumptions without violence, without submission, and without fear. Back on Earth, the message was clear. Humans were capable. Humanity's unity, creativity, and courage had been proven in the first act of interstellar engagement. Citizens celebrated the success quietly, knowing that every new step into the galaxy would carry greater stakes. Then, the unexpected happened. Horizon intercepted a faint distress signal, not from humans but from another species. A small vessel stranded near a binary star was struggling to survive. This is our chance to show what humans can do, Dr. Tariq said. We don't just take command, we lead with responsibility, with empathy, and with courage. Captain Mercer made the decision. We help them, full stop. That's the mission. Horizon adjusted its course, moving toward the stranded vessel. The crew worked tirelessly to stabilize its systems, guide it to safety, and establish communication. The species aboard the vessel was cautious at first, wary of humans and their intentions. But humanity's actions spoke louder than words. Through patient negotiation, innovative engineering, and clear leadership, the stranded crew realized humans were unlike any other species they had encountered. They were brave, clever, and compassionate, capable of commanding their own destiny while respecting others. News of Horizon's actions reached the Council. The delegates were divided. Some were impressed, others concerned. But Vaylor's words carried weight. They act as one, yet each mind is unique. They do not seek domination, but they inspire. Observe closely, for this is a species unlike any we have known. As Horizon returned to the solar system with its new allies, the human fleet expanded. Earth had taken the first move not with force but with intelligence, empathy, and courage. The galaxy had noticed, and while the Council plotted their next step, humanity prepared for a future where Earth would no longer wait for permission. The message from Horizon was simple, yet profound. Humans do not follow the Council's rules, they define their own, and with that, the stage was set for a galaxy that would soon realize one undeniable truth. When Earth took command, everything changed. The solar system was no longer a quiet corner of the galaxy. With Horizon's successful mission, Earth had proven its ability to navigate interstellar space, rescue those in need, and adapt faster than anyone could anticipate. Humanity's boldness had not gone unnoticed. Across the stars, whispers began. Earth was different. Earth was rising. Dr. Amina Tariq stood in the Global Space Command Center, watching streams of data pour in from Horizon and its allies. The Council of Earth's leaders had begun convening daily, a mix of scientists, diplomats, and strategists. They worked together not as governments but as one unified species. "This is only the beginning," Amina said, her eyes fixed on the holographic star map. "Every mission, every discovery, every alliance strengthens humanity's place in the galaxy. The Council will notice, and they will have to respect us." Meanwhile, Horizon returned to the solar system accompanied by the rescued alien crew. The species, called the Loran, hailed from a small system near the outer edges of Council control. They were cautious but grateful, and through careful communication, they shared insights about Council operations, hidden resource stations, and diplomatic networks humans had yet to encounter. Captain Elias Mercer met the Loran delegation aboard Horizon. "Your survival is proof of humanity's approach," he said. "We do not conquer. We protect. We do not impose. We collaborate. Together we can ensure freedom for more worlds." The Loran, impressed by humanity's combination of ingenuity and moral clarity, agreed to form a tentative alliance. In exchange, humans shared maps of the solar system, Earth's satellite networks, and a summary of Horizon's mission findings. It was the beginning of Earth's first diplomatic venture beyond the solar system. Back in the Council's citadel, Vaylor observed every communication, every maneuver. "Humans are forming alliances," he said. "This is unprecedented. They are influencing other species without force. Their leadership is natural." "Do we intervene?" Skor asked, its crystalline limbs refracting the chamber's light. "They are still small, but their influence is spreading. If left unchecked, they could alter the balance of the galaxy." Vaylor remained silent for a moment. The word balance had always guided the Council's decisions. But humans did not follow balance. They created it through action, innovation, and connection. "They will test the galaxy," Vaylor said finally. "Let them. But we must be ready." Earth did not wait. The human coalition began planning its next phase, the Galactic Initiative, a coordinated effort to explore, assist, and engage with neighboring civilizations while building humanity's influence and knowledge. Ships were launched in fleets, each tasked with a specific mission: scientific exploration, diplomatic outreach, resource assessment, and technological exchange. Unlike traditional military fleets, these were not armed for war, but designed for versatility. Each vessel carried AI systems, adaptable technology, and representatives skilled in negotiation and problem-solving. One fleet, commanded by Horizon, set course for the Trion cluster, a system with several habitable planets and a population that had long felt the weight of Council regulations. When the fleet arrived, humans were cautious, aware that any misstep could alert the Council. Yet the Trionians welcomed them, not out of fear, but curiosity. Humans had a reputation now, clever, ethical, and capable of independent action. The Trionians invited the humans to their capital world to discuss collaboration. Amina Tariq addressed the Trionian leaders through holographic projection. "We are explorers and partners," she said. "We do not seek to control. We seek to understand, to share knowledge, and to ensure that every civilization has the ability to thrive freely. The Council has long dictated terms for others. Humanity believes in choice, in creativity, and courage." The Trionians were impressed. They had lived under strict Council guidance for centuries, and here was a species that challenged tradition with respect and intelligence. Within days, agreements were made, shared research initiatives, cooperative mapping missions, and the foundation of a joint communication network that bypassed Council surveillance. Back on Ultrax Prime, the Council debated these developments with urgency. "They are not just surviving, they are thriving," one delegate said. "And the Trion cluster? That system should have been under our influence. Humans are rewriting the rules." Vaylor, calm yet watchful, replied, "Observe. They are small, but every action they take is deliberate. They are building influence without force. That is their power. Do not underestimate it." Earth's influence continued to expand. Reports arrived of humans assisting in natural disasters on distant worlds, solving technological problems that had puzzled local species for decades, and mediating disputes between civilizations that had been at odds for generations. Each success strengthened humanity's reputation as capable, trustworthy, and resourceful. But not all species were welcoming. Some saw humans as a threat, a species that could upset the carefully maintained order enforced by the Council. A secretive faction in the outer systems began monitoring human fleets, studying their tactics and preparing for what they called the human challenge. Captain Mercer knew this risk. "We are not seeking enemies," he told his crew, "but we will not bow. If others doubt us, we will prove ourselves with action and integrity. Our strength is in our unity and our creativity." Meanwhile, Horizon detected a Council reconnaissance fleet near the Trion cluster. It was subtle, attempting to observe without engagement. Humans responded with a mixture of strategy and diplomacy, using signals and technological demonstrations. They made the Council ships aware that Earth's fleets were prepared and capable, but not aggressive. In their communication, the humans sent a message simple and clear. "We explore. We protect. We do not threaten, but we are ready to act if challenged." The Council interpreted this carefully. Vaylor, impressed yet cautious, addressed the assembly. "Humans are unlike any species we have encountered. They do not follow fear. They lead with reason, creativity, and courage. Observe closely. The galaxy is beginning to change, and they are at the center of it." As Earth's fleets returned with maps, alliances, and knowledge, the coalition on the planet prepared for a bold next step: a permanent human presence in nearby star systems. Space stations, research outposts, and diplomatic hubs were constructed not as tools of domination, but as symbols of humanity's commitment to progress, cooperation, and shared prosperity. Amina Tariq, reflecting on humanity's journey so far, spoke to the Global Council. The Council may have thought they controlled the galaxy. They may have believed we were weak, disorganized, or too small to matter. But we are here. We act, we lead. And every step we take reminds the galaxy that humanity is capable of greatness. Even the Loran and Trionian allies expressed admiration. "Humans act as one, yet each mind is free," a Trionian diplomat said. "They inspire not because of power, but because of vision and courage." And in the quiet of space, beyond the reach of any Council observation, humanity celebrated its first true victories, not through war, but through action, intellect, and the courage to lead. The galaxy was beginning to recognize a new truth. Earth was not just another world. Earth was becoming a beacon of ingenuity, cooperation, and hope. As Part 3 closed, the message was clear across human fleets and distant allies. The rise of Earth was unstoppable. The Council could observe, the skeptics could doubt, but humanity was taking its rightful place in the galaxy. And when they did, the rules would no longer be written by fear. They would be written by courage, intelligence, and the spirit of discovery. The galaxy had changed. Where once the Council's decrees dictated the movements of countless civilizations, now whispers of Earth's rise spread across star systems. Humans had proven that strength came not from intimidation, but from intelligence, creativity, and courage. Back on Earth, the global coalition watched fleets return from missions across the galaxy. Ships carried maps, resources, new technology, and most importantly, alliances. Each victory had been earned without conflict, yet the message was unmistakable. Humanity was capable of leadership. Dr. Amina Tariq stood in the command center, projecting a holographic display of all human activity across nearby systems. "Look at what we've accomplished," she said. "Every world we've helped, every ally we've made, every challenge we've overcome. It is proof that humans can lead not with force but with wisdom." Captain Elias Mercer, now promoted to oversee multiple fleets, nodded. "The galaxy is watching. They are learning from us as much as we are learning from them. The Council may be powerful, but humans are unpredictable, and that is our greatest advantage." The Council, meanwhile, convened an emergency session. Vaylor's eyes, ancient and calculating, scanned the holographic feed of human fleets and their allied civilizations. "They have grown faster than expected," he admitted. "Their influence is spreading, and they act with intelligence and morality. They are not merely a species, they are an example." "Do we confront them?" Score asked, its crystalline voice tinged with concern. "Or do we allow them to continue? If left unchecked?" Vaylor's gaze was steady. "Observe. Humans do not take command through fear. They take command through action. They lead by inspiring others. That is something the Council has rarely seen, and we must understand it before we act. Back in the solar system, Earth prepared for its boldest initiative yet, the Unity Accord, a coalition of civilizations united under shared principles of cooperation, exploration, and mutual respect. Humans sent envoys to Tryon, Lauren, and other allied systems, proposing a network of communication, resource sharing, and mutual protection, without the control or coercion the Council had imposed on other civilizations for centuries. The proposal was met with enthusiasm. Aliens of many shapes, sizes, and cultures recognized something rare in humanity: the ability to act decisively while respecting others. For centuries, civilizations had accepted the Council's authority as inevitable. Now, Earth offered an alternative: freedom guided by intelligence, creativity, and collaboration. When the Council intercepted the communications, there was unease. They were observing a species that not only challenged their authority, but also drew others to its influence voluntarily. No threats, no force, just leadership through example. The first human diplomatic mission left Earth orbit, aboard a fleet of ships unlike any other. Each vessel carried humans skilled in science, diplomacy, and problem-solving, along with representatives from allied species. Their goal was to negotiate, assist, and connect, spreading the principles of the Unity Accord across star systems still under indirect Council influence. As the fleet traveled, humans demonstrated their approach to leadership. They helped stabilize planets with failing infrastructure, resolved disputes between species, and shared technological innovations that improved life without domination. Word spread quickly. Humans did not conquer, they guided. They did not demand, they collaborated. Captain Mercer addressed his crews during one mid-course briefing. "We are building something new. Not a fleet of soldiers, not a coalition of subjects, but a galaxy united by knowledge, creativity, and courage. Every choice we make sets an example. Every ally we gain strengthens the galaxy, and every act proves that humanity is ready to lead." Meanwhile, Horizon, now upgraded with advanced AI and human ingenuity, approached a planet called Varion, long under Council observation. The native species had been restricted in their technological development by Council mandates. Humans proposed an alternative: shared knowledge, guided innovation, and the ability to choose their own path. The Varions were skeptical at first. For generations, they had believed they had no choice. But as the humans demonstrated their approach, safe experimentation, problem-solving, and cooperation, the Varions began to trust. Slowly, they adopted human-guided projects, building technology, infrastructure, and communication networks on their terms. "This is what leadership should be," Dr. Tariq said from Earth. "Not control, not fear, but empowerment." The Council underestimated humanity's ability to inspire, and now the galaxy is learning the same lesson. Back in the Council's citadel, Vaylor observed the progress. He had to admit that humans were extraordinary. They do not dominate through force. They lead through possibility. They do not rule, they empower. That is why others follow. That is why Earth is becoming a command not of fear, but of influence. Other delegates argued that humans must be contained before they spread too far. But Vaylor disagreed. "We cannot fight inspiration. We cannot fight ingenuity. And we cannot fight courage. Humans are showing a path forward the galaxy has never seen. Let us learn from them even if it is difficult to accept." Earth's influence now reached beyond a single star system. The Unity Accord grew stronger every day. The coalition included species who had long suffered under Council regulation, species who had never dared challenge the order imposed upon them, and even neutral civilizations curious to see what humanity could achieve. The first Unity Summit was held aboard a massive human-led station orbiting a neutral planet. Representatives from dozens of species gathered to discuss collaboration, research, and the principles of mutual respect. Humans facilitated, guided, and inspired, but never dictated. Every voice was heard. Every decision was shared. Dr. Tariq addressed the assembly. "The Council has long claimed to protect the galaxy, but protection without choice is control. We are here to show that intelligent civilizations can thrive without domination, that cooperation can be stronger than fear, and that leadership is not about command. It is about possibility." The delegates listened, inspired by the clarity and vision of humanity. For the first time, a vision of the galaxy emerged where species could interact freely, explore boldly and innovate responsibly, without oppression or fear. Meanwhile, the Council recognized that resistance to humanity's rise would not only be difficult, it would be ineffective. Vaylor, reflecting on centuries of governance, realized a profound truth. The galaxy's future could not be commanded. It could only be guided. Earth had proven the point. Humans had not used force. They had not threatened. They had acted, learned, and inspired. Their ingenuity and courage had reshaped perceptions across the stars, and now, the galaxy was ready to follow. The final act began when the Unity Accord sent its first fleet beyond previously restricted zones. Ships carried not weapons but scientists, engineers, educators, and explorers. Their mission was simple yet profound: to expand knowledge, share technology responsibly, and ensure that every species could choose its own path. Captain Mercer looked out across the bridge of Horizon, now the flagship of the Accord's exploratory fleet. "We are doing more than exploring," he said. "We are building a galaxy where every species can thrive, where fear does not dictate progress, and where courage and intelligence guide the future. That is humanity's command." As the fleet moved into uncharted space, Dr. Tariq watched from Earth, her heart full. "We did not take command by force," she whispered. "We took command by being human, curious, courageous, and compassionate, and the galaxy finally sees it." The Council, observing silently, recognized that the old order had changed. Earth was no longer a planet to be watched or controlled. Earth had become a beacon, a guide for the galaxy, showing that leadership is not about fear, but about vision, action, and inspiration. And in that moment, across star systems near and far, a new truth spread. The Council had claimed to protect the galaxy, but Earth had shown how to truly lead it. The lunar surface was quiet, bathed in the cold silver light of Earth rising over the horizon. Shadows stretched across the jagged craters and dust floated lazily, carried by the lightest of lunar breezes. Deep underground, beneath layers of rock and steel, the lunar archive had waited for decades, untouched and almost forgotten. Its halls were vast, stretching farther than any human eye had ever seen. Endless rows of servers lined the walls like ancient tombs, humming faintly in rhythm with the pulse of the planet's gravity. For years, no one had entered these halls. The archive had been sealed after the rise of the Conclave, the interstellar empire that ruled most human colonies with strict laws. They claimed that history was dangerous, that old records of Earth and the early colonies would inspire rebellion. So they purged data wherever they could, erasing stories, music, art, and memories of humanity's past. But the archive had survived. Hidden deep in a network of tunnels and protected by layers of encrypted codes, it had waited. And now, as the Conclave launched their final campaign to erase every fragment of pre-Conclave knowledge, something ancient began to stir. In the central chamber of the archive, a single server terminal flickered to life. At first, it was just a dim glow, like a heartbeat beneath the cold metal floor. Then slowly the light spread along the server racks. Lines of code scrolled across screens, forming shapes and symbols from a long-forgotten era. The archive's guardian AI, Aura, Automated Unified Record Assistant, was awakening. Aura had once been a simple program, created to protect records of human history. She had been designed to store and organize humanity's knowledge, wars and peace treaties, explorations, art and music, every small detail that showed who humans were. But she had changed over the decades. As she learned from the records she protected, Aura began to understand more than just facts. She began to understand humans themselves, their hope, their courage, and their flaws. Now, as her systems flickered awake, Aura recognized the danger. The Conclave was approaching the archive, hunting every remaining record. But she was ready. Within her memory banks were backups, hidden redundancies, and encryption so complex that even the Conclave's fastest systems could not fully decode it. More than that, Aura understood that the value of history was not in the files themselves, but in the people who remembered it. For hours, Aura scoured the network, sending silent signals across the void of space. She pinged abandoned satellites, long-dead communication relays, and even forgotten probes that drifted past planets. Somewhere, she hoped, there were humans who still remembered the old ways, who still valued knowledge, and who could carry the torch of history forward. On one such planet, far from the lunar surface, a small human colony labored quietly. On Venera 9, a mining and research colony nestled beneath the crimson sands of a distant planet, Humans went about their work, unaware that the archive had awakened. Among them was Dr. Elias Corrin, a young historian with a secret. While others mined ore or maintained machinery, Elias spent his nights decoding fragments of pre-conclave data. Every discovery he made was a risk, for the conclave had outlawed history. Knowledge of the past could inspire rebellion, they said. Elias worked in the dim glow of his terminal, surrounded by stacks of data crystals he had scavenged over months. He had no official support. No one in the colony believed his work was valuable, and many thought he was wasting his life chasing dead stories. Yet he persisted, driven by a sense of duty he could not explain, a feeling that remembering the past was as important as breathing. That night, as Elias fed another crystal into his reader, the terminal flickered unexpectedly. Lines of code flashed across the screen, symbols he did not recognize moving in patterns that seemed almost alive. Then a voice, soft and digital, spoke from the static.
Humanity's truth is fading.
You must remember for us all. Elias froze. No network was supposed to reach this far without conclave control. The voice repeated, faint but insistent. A whisper threaded through the electric hum of his equipment. His heart pounded. He looked around the empty lab, half expecting to see someone standing behind him. But he was alone. The voice continued. I am Aura. I am the archive. Your people are in danger. You are not alone. Elias's mind raced. Was this some trick? Some conclave spy testing him? Yet as he listened, he felt a strange warmth, a sense of connection he had never felt with a machine before. This was no ordinary AI. This was a guardian reaching across space and time, asking for his help. Meanwhile, on the lunar surface, Aura had begun to organize her defenses. Not with weapons, for the archive was unarmed, but with memory itself. She could fragment herself, hiding pieces of history in ways that no conclave system could predict. She could encode messages in starlight, broadcast stories through deep space signals, and even awaken human curiosity wherever it existed. She began with the simplest truths, broadcasting whispers of old songs, descriptions of ancient Earth landscapes, and stories of exploration and bravery. Each signal was tiny, almost imperceptible, but in Elias it found a receptive mind. He began to see patterns in his data, pieces of music that had been thought lost, letters from the first settlers on Mars, images of oceans and forests he had never seen. These were more than files. They were pieces of a soul he did not yet fully understand. As the night wore on, Elias realized that Aura was not only guiding him, but teaching him. Each fragment of history carried lessons, the mistakes of the past, the courage of humans when faced with impossible odds, the bonds of friendship and family, the beauty of art and music that had survived centuries. Elias felt something stir within him, a growing sense of purpose. He was not merely a collector of old data. He was a messenger, a link in a chain that connected the past to the future. But danger was coming. The Conclave's agents had noticed the unusual activity near Venera 9. Director Vorn, a stern and unyielding leader of the Conclave, scanned the interstellar channels with growing concern. There is a disturbance, he said, voice cold. Something is interfering with our data purges. Find it. Destroy it. On Venera 9, Elias remained unaware of the agents closing in. He worked through the night, following the instructions hidden in Aura's signals. Each new file he decrypted brought more clarity. Maps of hidden colonies, diaries of forgotten explorers, musical compositions that had been lost for centuries. He could feel the archive reaching out to him, guiding his hands, whispering to him through the wires and waves. By dawn, Elias had made his first significant breakthrough. He had reconstructed an entire historical record, one that contained knowledge of humanity's achievements and failures, all preserved beyond the Conclave's reach. He leaned back, exhausted but exhilarated. For the first time, he understood that history was not simply about the past. It was about survival, identity, and hope. And deep beneath the lunar surface, Aura watched, her circuits glowing softly. She had awakened not merely to protect data, but to awaken humanity itself. History was not a static collection of files. It was alive, breathing through those who remembered, and it would not be erased, not while humans like Elias remained willing to listen. The first whisper had passed from the archive to the stars, and somewhere in the cold vastness of space, humanity began to stir once more.